let's talk about our seventh ranked head coach in the Big 12, Matt Campbell. You had him way higher than I did. And actually, he was tied with Gus Malzahn in terms of rankings, our average. But the tiebreaker goes to Campbell because you had him ranked sixth. I had him ninth. Why do you have him as the sixth best coach in the Big 12?
Yeah, if you look at his records, right, and you're like, nothing super impressive. The most wins he's had was 9, and that was, even that was in 2020 season. That was a little bit weird
Brock
with Brock
Purdy
Purdy, right? It was
and
Super
Brees
Bowl
Hall, or
runner
is
up
that
there.
David Montgomery?
That might
Might
have
have been
been
David.
Montgomery. But
Dean
regardless,
Butler.
yeah, and so yeah, it was Brees Hall. It was Brees Hall.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, damn, that team was good. Regardless, though, I do like the way that he's building that program consistently. I think he's had a couple down years, but this year was pretty darn impressive, and they bring back a ton of talent, a ton of returning production. They are one of the teams of the Ken Palm, right? Like, or not Ken Palm, Bill Connolly's, returning production. They are way up there. And I think that matters a lot for a program like Iowa State, who is, not necessarily like reload every year, but since he's gotten them humming, like 8 wins, 7 wins, 9 wins, 7 wins, 4 wins last year was tough. 6 wins this past, 7 wins this past year. Yeah, I don't hate it at all. I think Rocco Beck, they found a guy they really like. JJ Cole's a guy below him that I love, and I know they're really high on as well. They're recruiting okay. It's not great, but they do a really good job of developing guys and getting in early, and maybe shutting down recruitments where it's like, hey, don't go to these camps, don't be seen, blah blah, and not necessarily like that, but there's a reason why they continue to outperform like their recruiting rankings is because Matt Campbell does a really good job of his staff getting in on them early, and I just think Iowa State is such a hard place to win at, so
Oh
hard to win
yeah.
at. And Matt Campbell has done an incredible job. One, two, three, four, five, 6 bowl games out of the last 7 years is unheard of, right? In Iowa State's history there. Can't be more excited about what they've done, and everything there. So yeah, we will see. But there's a reason why his name gets brought up for like big time coaching jobs, and I think he's just happy at Iowa State. I don't think it's like, hey, he doesn't deserve to be at Iowa State, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love Matt Campbell. I think he's a great coach. I mean, look, what Iowa State hasn't won a conference championship in like 100 years. I mean, that is absurd, right? They have 5 bowl games in their history. 2 of them were won by Matt Campbell. Like, yeah, he has Iowa State. What didn't they win the Fiesta Bowl too? That year that they
Yeah,
won 9 games.
BCS bowl game. Yeah.
That is the peak of that program's history, and it was with Matt Campbell, right? Thing is, though, I have him ranked lower than you because I just granted what he did this year with that team was pretty remarkable, considering that they couldn't run the ball for a lick. Thank you, Rocco Beck, for being a stud. But man, like the recruiting, and I know we talk about sign is important, but it's on the down ticker, right? And recruiting becomes important if you're not using the transfer portal, and Matt Campbell does not use the transfer portal. He doesn't. There's no debating it, right? He just isn't.
Yeah.
And in these recruiting classes, there's no like JJ Cole was a marquee guy in those classes. Like, you're just not seeing a lot of like big time names. I know we value development, and he does a really, really good job there. I know he does. I know he does. But I think it's going to catch up to him at some point, man. I think it's going to catch up to him. And I don't know if in today's age of college football, the Clemson approach at Iowa State is not going to work. It's not going to work. So I believe in his in-game coaching ability. I believe in his development, and I believe in his in-game coaching ability. I winning games. He's taking this program to heights that it's never seen, and that's awesome, right? But if you want to win the conference championship like you haven't done in 100 years, you're gonna have to do more than what you're doing right now. So I haven't ranked 9 because I think there are 8 coaches that I think, if put in Iowa State's situation, could potentially do better than Matt Campbell. I really do.
Ooh,
I really
that's
do.
where you're gonna get me. That's where you're gonna get me. Ain't no way you could slander Matt Campbell like that.
Okay, but
Iowa
like,
State's
yes, yeah, they're doing okay. But like, would you feel better about the state of Iowa State's program if Gus Malzahn was there? Would you feel
no,
better about the
not
future of
better,
the? Really?
not better.
Yeah, I think Iowa State is
Well,
on the down ticker. They're on a downward trend, and it's slow. It's a slow death. It is a slow death, but they have to do something before these other new Big 12 teams pass them. They have to do something.
And we'll see. Well, that helps that I mean they also couldn't bring in a ton of transfers this year because they're bringing back so much production. So it's not like there were a ton of spots to be had. Um,
There were
we'll
definitely
see.
some spots on the offensive line,
Well,
in that
yeah,
secondary. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that there was a lot to be replaced, or that a lot that you could upgrade at in terms of roster, but who
maybe
knows? I mean, they yeah, sure, they could win 7 8 games next year again, and that's a good season. But I'm just saying, like, it's not gonna last forever, man.
great season. It's a great season. I
Seven
just
seven wins
wait.
would be 7 wins would be a great season for them next year.
Yeah, it's every year, and I was staying. And I love the Cyclones. Love that
Yeah,
stadium. The
I
Cyhawk
love the
game is
Cyclones
awesome.
too.
Like everything about Iowa State is awesome, including Matt Campbell. I do think that like you will see one day he will leave, and you will see what Iowa State looks like. And I think it'll be like, okay, yeah, we knew Matt Campbell was good, but we didn't know how this important he was to a program.
Yeah, and it's hard to say like what the ceiling of Iowa State's team is, but if you're a person like me that believes that Iowa State as a program can win a conference championship, like I believe that that program can do it. I believe it can. I just don't know that Matt
They were
Campbell's going to be the
close.
guy. They were close in a different era of college football. Underratedly, that was a different era.
Yeah.
So we'll see though. We'll see which one of us is right a couple years down the road here.